The meeting will come to order. We are now holding a meeting of business professionals of America. Mr. Vice President, what are the major purposes of our professional organization?
We recognize the importance and understand the contributions that have been made to our country by business professionals. We are preparing to take our place in these challenging positions. We work together in Business Professionals of America to develop essential competencies in leadership, scholarship, character, and citizenship so that we may share in the improvement of our economy and the advancement of our nation.
May we accomplish these objectives. Mr. Vice President, will you please present the other officers?
With pleasure, I introduce President Carlos Ortiz, Historian Hoang Vu, Secretary Aatish Katuwal, Treasurer Ethan Ngo, Parliamentarian Nguyen, Parliamentarian Ethan Eloi Jeshua Ramirez, absent at this time, and Vice President Aryan Bastakoti. Mr. President, the officers are at their stations.
Will the members and friends please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
And now for the BPA pledge. We are
Met in the spirit of friendship and goodwill as we prepare for careers in a world-class workforce. We work together to develop professionalism and leadership through Business Professionals of America and pledge our loyalty to our nation.
Please be seated. Mr. Secretary, the minutes.
The minutes from last meeting has been evenly distributed.
Very well. I call this meeting to order.
Mr. President,
Yes,
I move that we have the sponsored communities blood drive on January 28th.
is there a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any discussions?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move to request more information about the blood drive.
The Sponsored Community Blood Drive is an annual event that we partake in to help out those in need.
Mr. President,
Yes,
I move that we postpone indefinitely regarding the subject because I don't feel that the blood drive is necessary at this moment.
is there a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. We will begin voting. Those in favor, raise your hand. Those against, raise your hand. Very well. The vote is unanimously 6-0. Is there any other motion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
for the second motion, I move that we send chapter officers to the National BPA Convention in Houston, Texas on January 23rd, 2020, using a bus.
Is there a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move to amend that we send the officers via an airplane.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I agree that we should send the officers via an airplane since it is a lot faster than traveling by bus.
Is there a second?
I second that.
There's an amendment and a second. Any discussion? Very well. All those in favor of the amended motion, raise your hand, right hand. All against, raise your hand. Very well. The vote has passed 4-2. We will now continue with the current motion. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes,
I move that we immediately vote on the motion.
very well. All in favor of attending the National BPA Convention by plane, raise your hand. All against, raise your hand. The motion has been unanimously passed 6-0. Is there any other motion?
Mr. President,
Yes,
I move that we attend the career fair to learn about business careers on February 22nd, 2018 in Austin, Texas.
I rise to order, to point of order.
the given date has passed. Do you have an updated date?
Mr. President,
Yes,
my apologies. The corrected date is February 22nd, 2021. And I move that we attend the career fair to learn about business careers on that date.
is there a second?
I second.
There is a motion and a second. Are there any discussions? Very well. Since there is no discussion, we will begin voting. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those against, raise your hand. Very well. The motion to have a career fair on February 22nd, 2021 unanimously passed.
Mr. President,
Yes,
I move that we have recess for 15 minutes.
is there a second?
I second that.
There is a motion and second. Are there any discussions? Since there is no discussion, we will begin voting. All those in favor of the recess for 15 minutes, raise your hand. All those against, raise your hand. Very well. We will have a recess for 15 minutes. All right. Is there any other discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes,
since there are no further subjects to discuss, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
is there a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. We will begin voting. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those against, raise your right hand. Very well. I now declare this meeting adjourned.